Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday? Is it a Monday? I have no idea what day it is. It is a Monday. Happy Monday. It's been a little bit, but I'm back and I'm ready to learn. But for those of you who might not know me, my name is Suffers or Z, and I do modded Minecraft. I do regular Minecraft as well, and currently I do a lot of Duolingo because I just want to learn languages. And the current language I'm trying to learn is some Spanish. We've got a pretty decent Duolingo streak going on, 45 days. Not a single missed or frozen day in there, which I think is quite an achievement. And before I started doing Spanish on stream, I was doing some by myself on a different account. So officially, I think I started learning Spanish around February. And so far, we've made some real progress. I think when we last left off, we wanted to try and finish this. And then I want to see if I can maybe somehow skip all of this unit. We'll do like the placement test and see if that works. So we can maybe make some more progress, because besides learning on Duolingo, of course, I also try and learn Spanish in other ways, like watching a lot of Spanish content and stuff like that. And then I think sometimes what I actually know doesn't match up with the level on Duolingo. But, we just have a fun time. I make mistakes because learning a language is tough. And hopefully we learn some new things today. So let's finish the talk about interests difficult level. And let's see where we get to. But I do hope you are having a good Monday. So this is our final lesson of this topic.
Interesan.
Nope, we made the same mistake last time as well. Okay.
Mis padres.
I'm just jumping into this with no other thoughts, no planning today, so this is just out of nowhere. So my parents are interested
Les interesa
in playing
jugar
tennis.
Tenis.
Al tennis. Okay, I was close. We're gonna be struggling until we our brain kind of rewires to learning languages for a quick second. Because whenever I don't stream, all I really do is practices. I don't do full lessons. So that kind of now means that it's just a completely new to my brain. En las vacaciones siempre
Jugamos.
play. So in the vacation, I always play basketball, but Ben never plays with us. I'm just
Esto
struggling.
es muy divertido.
There we go. We got one right in the end. I don't know if it's L or La. La. Okay. We interesa in I don't know if we need the L, arte. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot that was the structure, but that's fine. We're making slow progress at the start, but it's okay.
¿Qué clase le interesa a Manuel?
There we go. Some ones we do know. And then of course they go straight into the difficult ones. They are not interested in playing tennis.
Ellas.
Okay.
Les interesa.
I think it's maybe
Le
better this.
interesa.
Yeah, okay. Are not interested in playing.
Jugador. Tenis.
Okay, maybe we just do this one.
Jugar. Tenis.
Okay, it looks like we gotta maybe look at a couple more hints and maybe play slower until our brain gets reused to all of this. Because sometimes switching between languages is gonna be a little bit more difficult. Jose is interested in basketball. A Jose le interesa el Basketball. There we go. Juan is interested in the French course.
A Juan le interesa
In the French course.
le cours français.
Okay. I can see where I got confused there. That's fine. I am very interested in this conversation. Esta conversación me interesa mucho. This conversation interests me a lot. They are not very interested in this. They are not very interested.
No les interesa mucho
Oh, okay, wait. We got it
interesa.
right. We just gotta do the order right. So this
Esto
doesn't
no
interest
le
them
interesa mucho.
a lot. Esta no les interesa mucho.
Interesa. Interesa.
So here we do the N to make it plural because it's more European groups. And here it's only singular because it's just music in general, or the music. My parents are interested in playing tennis. The mistake we made here was I forgot the sentence structure because it's been a little bit.
A mis padres les interesa jugar al tenis.
There we go. And here
Juega. Juega.
the mistake I made was I thought this one would have to be plural because it's with us. But that's just not understanding the sentence correctly. Here was once again, we didn't know the sentence structure, which is fine. Juan is interested in the French course.
A Juan le interesa el cours de francés.
And here I mixed up le and el, which is a mistake I can definitely see myself making. But you know what? We struggled, but we did, make mistakes, but we got through it. And I guess there's nowhere to go but up. And now we have 15 minutes of double XP. And there we go, a 46 day streak. I was about to say a 40-day 6 streak. That's not the correct sentence structure. And now we get a story. Too dangerous. Demasiado dangerous.
Demasiado peligroso.
Peligroso. Actually, I should have known peligroso. I've heard that before. But at least I got demasiado. Alright.
No puedo, Lily.
No puedo, Lily. Stories are just the best, yeah. They're just very, very fun to do. I can't, Lily. And then you also get to know some of the characters when you do stories, which is also quite fun.
Si puedes, no te preocupes.
Si puedes, no te preocupes. Preocupes. I need to hear that one again.
Si puedes, no te preocupes.
Preocupes. Because I've seen this word written, but not spoken. But it's, you can. Don't worry. No te preocupes.
Tengo miedo. Es demasiado peligroso.
Tengo miedo. Es demasiado peligroso. I'm afraid or I have fear. It's too dangerous. Nope, that's wrong. Zari's definitely afraid.
No quiero ir.
No quiero ir. I don't want to go. Ir is to go. Yeah, I don't want to go. I'm surprised so far. I've known every sentence in this.
Sari, vamos a estar bien.
Oh, and there we go. Every time I say that, it gives me something I don't know. Zari, vamos a estar bien. It's going to be okay. Like, vamos is let's go. We're going to be okay. Look at me, guessing sentences and being right. It's going, so vamos a estar is it's going to be. We're going to be. Okay.
¿Y cómo sabes eso?
¿Y cómo sabes eso? And how do you know this?
Bueno, mucha gente lo hace.
Bueno, mucha gente lo hace. Good. Well. A lot of people have done this. Well, mucha gente is a lot of people. Do it. Have done this. Okay, I was close.
Sari, todo va a estar bien.
Zari, todo va a estar bien. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay.
Yo estoy aquí contigo y vamos a ir juntas.
Yo estoy aquí contigo y vamos a ir juntos. I am here with you and we are going together. Juntos is together. So I'm here with you and we are going together.
Gracias, Lily. Eres una buena amiga.
Gracias, Lily. Eres una buena amiga. Thank you, Lily. You are a good friend.
Está bien.
It's fine. It's good. Okay.
Creo que estoy lista.
Creo que estoy lista. I think that I am ready.
¿Vas a montarte en la montaña rusa o no?
Oh. ¿Vas a montarte a la montaña rusa o no? Okay, let's try and break this down. Vas, no, I can't even break any of this down. Are you going to ride montarte? Okay, montarte is ride. On the pink mountain? Roller coaster. Okay. Or not. Montaña rusa. That's a new one. Or not.
Hay mucha gente esperando.
Hay mucha gente esperando. There's a lot of people waiting. Yep, there's a lot of people waiting.
Esta es la montaña rusa más alta y más vieja del país.
Esta es la montaña rusa más alta y más vieja del país. This is the roller coaster that is the most tall and the most old of the country.
Espera, ¿la más alta y la más vieja?
Wait, the tallest and the oldest?
Está bien. Lo voy a hacer.
Está bien, lo voy a hacer. Okay. Let's do it. I am ready. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
¿Y mi amiga, Lily?
Oh? It's going to do it with me? It's coming with me. Okay, there we go.
Espera. ¿Lily? ¿Por qué corres? ¿A dónde vas?
Espera, Lily. ¿Por qué corres? ¿A dónde vas? Why are you running? ¿A dónde vas? Where are you going? Okay.
Lo siento, Sari. No quiero montarme en esa montaña rusa.
Lo siento, Zari. No quiero montarme en esa montaña rusa. I'm sorry, Zari. I don't want to ride in this roller coaster. Ooh, now she's the scared one.
Peligroso.
Es demasiado peligroso. It's too dangerous. Zari decided to ride the roller coaster, but Lily was too scared. There we go. That was quite a fun story, I must admit. I liked the story. Oh, A is una. There we go. My brain was like, what is A? What is A? But yeah, I liked it. I liked the reversal of roles. It's quite fun. Quite fun indeed. And we're moving up the leaderboards. I don't know, stories are always quite fun. And now we get to discuss or describe our travel plans, I do suppose. And then we just have like 2 more, and then we'll see if we can skip all of this. See if we have those skills. Hola means hello, in case you didn't know.
Mañana?
¿Qué vas a hacer mañana? What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you doing? Or going to do tomorrow. I feel like maybe I just haven't done Duolingo on long enough, but I feel like I haven't seen ¿Qué vas a hacer before. So maybe this is the first time they show me, maybe I've seen it before, but that's unfamiliar to my brain. Actually, I think I'll even write this one down because it's just that unfamiliar right now. I'm sure like in like 2 minutes I'll remember it, but it's better to write it down. ¿Qué vas? What are you going to do? Sometimes it's just better to write and get ahead of it, and then just the act of writing maybe makes me remember it better. Like the only other notes I have on this notepad apart from my question words are silla for seat and mismas. And the other day I was watching some Spanish on Twitch, and I saw the word silla written down, and I was like, what is that again in English? And I just immediately knew it was a chair. So writing it down helped me with that one. So that was pretty good.
¿Dónde están las maletas?
¿Dónde están las maletas? Where are the tickets? The tickets. Suitcases. Oh, this was a mistake I made a lot because it's maletas versus boleto, maybe? Something like that. I'll make this one again. Maletas.
Solo necesito 2 maletas. Necesito 2 maletas.
Solo necesito 2 maletas.
Solo necesito 2 maletas.
I only need 2 suitcases. Okay. Suitcase, maleta. We'll have to find a way to link those.
Yo voy a vivir en otro país.
Yo voy a vivir en otro país. I am going to live in another place. In other country. This doesn't make sense to me in English. I'm going to live in another country. Oh, there we go. Another, not just other. There we go. That was the English, just not registering.
Queremos comprar 3 boletos.
Queremos comprar 3 boletos. See, that's the confusing word again. We want to buy 3 tickets. Nope. We want to buy 3 tickets. Okay. I can't even remember suitcase. The words are just too linked in my brain. Boleto versus maleta. ¿Cuándo vas a comprar nuestros boletos a Alemania? When are we buying our tickets to Germany? When are you going? So was kind of makes it like future. Is kind of what I'm noticing. So was makes it future tense. I think. Because like what are you going to do? Future is also ¿qué vas a hacer? So I think vas makes it future tense.
¿Cuándo es el próximo partido?
Nuestros. Yeah, that's. I always somehow mix up nuestros and new. I always mix those 2 up as well. ¿Cuándo es el próximo partido? When's the next game? Yeah, I think it's because, of course, also, like, it maybe links easier to the English new. Nuestros, new. I don't know. When's the upcoming game? Proxima, I assume, is like next, nearest. Yeah.
Voy a visitar Londres el próximo invierno. ¿Hace mucho frío?
Voy a visitar Londres el próximo invierno. Hace mucho frío. I am going to visit London the next winter. Is it very cold? No tengo idea. No conozco esta ciudad. I have no idea. I am not familiar with this city.
Gloria va a estudiar en Suecia.
Gloria va a estudiar en Suecia. Gloria is going to study in Sweden. Going to study in Sweden. So va is future. Going to.
Él va a pasar el verano en Madrid.
He is going to spend the summer in Madrid. Going to spend the summer in Madrid. There we go. At least I picked up on that whole grammar fairly quickly. The vas for future.
Ellos no tienen los pasaportes.
Ellos no tienen los pasaportes. They don't have passports. Their passports, the passports. They don't have the passports. It's the little victories, I do suppose. You know, we completely butchered our first lesson of the day, but once we got through that, we did the story. Now we're back to having some sort of brain. Pasaportes.
Pasaportes.
¿Sabes dónde están los pasaportes? Llegar, están.
Oh, nope.
Llegar. ¿Dónde están los? Izquierda.
Nope.
Pasaporte. ¿Sabes dónde están los pasaportes?
Do you know where the passports are? ¿Sabes dónde están los pasaportes? ¿Vas a ir a Boston estas vacaciones o en las próximas vacaciones? Are you going to Boston this vacation or in the next vacation? Look at us go.
Pero.
¿Quién?
Boletos. Jueves.
They were all matched up there, each and every one of them. I've had it a lot where like the first 3 are matched up and then the last 2 aren't. But I've never had all 5 of them just next to each other. That was fun. Mi novia va a viajar a Madrid la próxima semana. My boyfriend is going to travel to Madrid in the next week.
¿Dónde están las
Okay.
maletas?
Where are the suitcases? Maleta for suitcase. You know what? I'm writing it down. For suitcase. Okay. And then maybe at some point I'll find a way to link these 2 words together without getting them continually confused. But there we go. So far so good. I think we're gonna have some quick fun lessons. Describing travel plans. I like it. Airplane. El avión.
El avión.
Avión.
Vamos a la playa.
Let's go to the beach. Oh, okay. I said it correctly, but I didn't click it correctly.
¿A dónde vamos a viajar?
¿A dónde vamos a viajar? We saw a dónde in the story. It was, why are you running? Where are you going? So a dónde is where, are. Where are we going to travel? Because I believe vamos is plural. We. Okay, so it is we. So where are we going to travel? To. Mama, ¿a dónde vamos a ir esta fin de semana?
Semana.
Mom, where are we going to this weekend? Look at us go.
¿A dónde vas a viajar este verano?
¿A dónde vas a viajar esta verano? Where are we going to travel this verano, summer? You going to travel to this summer. This is also making me rewire my brain's English because I want to say where are you going to this summer, but I'm now having to go where are you going to this summer.
Los niños están listos.
Los niños están listos. The children are ready. I feel like a lot of these words were in the story, which makes sense that like the story prepares you for the next lesson. But I think this is kind of the first time I've been aware.
Yo voy a viajar en avión.
Yo voy a viajar en avión. I am going to travel on a plane. Going to travel by plane. I am going to travel by plane. Okay.
Nosotros siempre jugamos al tenis.
Oh, that's just a random review in there, okay? Maybe has Duolingo had an update since I've played? Because I don't think I've seen a review exercise before. Nosotros siempre jugamos al tenis. We always play tennis.
Aquellos carros son mejores.
Aquellos carros son mejores. Those cars are better. So I still think aquellos is one I'm gonna have to like actively try and remember. I don't usually just think those aquellos. Like that's just not.
¿Ustedes cuándo van a viajar?
Ustedes cuándo van a viajar? When are you, formal, plural, going to travel?
Ellas van a viajar a Francia en las vacaciones.
Ellos van a viajar a Francia en las vacaciones. They are going to travel to France in the vacation. Y nosotros, ¿a dónde vamos a ir este verano? And us, where are we going to in this summer?
¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid?
¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid? When, like what hour? What time? What time? Vas makes it you, I think. I am not French, but people do keep assuming I'm French. I apparently somehow have a French accent when speaking Spanish, is what I've heard. I don't know why. Next, maybe? No. Arriving. But yeah, I've heard it a couple times now that people just assume I'm French, which is an interesting development. ¿A qué aeropuerto va a llegar el avión a JFK? So at what airport are you going to arrive? Is the plane going to arrive at JFK airport?
Nosotros vamos a llegar a las 11. Nos vamos a llegar. Nosotros vamos a llegar a las 11. A las 11.
Oh, okay. Nosotros vamos a llegar a las 11.
Nosotros vamos a llegar a las 11.
I'm struggling with the pronunciation for this word, but we are going to arrive at 11. There we go. Ready, listo.
Estoy listo. ¿A dónde vamos a tomar el autobús?
Estoy listo. ¿A dónde vamos a tomar el autobús? I am ready. ¿A dónde? We've just been through a dónde 500,000 times. When? Where are we going to take the bus? Tenemos dos carros, no necesitamos el autobús. We are taking 2 cars, we don't need a bus. We have 2 cars. Tenemos, we have. Okay. Factory.
Fábrica.
Libro.
Carnes.
Oh, I
Teléfono.
really just misclicked there.
Listo.
Whoops.
Pagar.
Carros. Estas.
I feel like I could have made a real big mistake between these and this, because I hadn't realized they were both there. So I just picked the first one that looked correct. That could have gone very wrong very quickly. Okay, we made...
Vamos a la playa.
Let's go to the beach. I just forgot the apostrophe S, but you know, I guess we'll redo it. Let's go to the beach. Vamos a la playa. There we go. We completed all of our daily quests. No thanks. And we're actually not doing too bad.
David va a volver pronto.
David va a volver pronto. Going to return soon. Okay, volver, return. And then there's the other one that means something else that I always mix up. So if they throw both of them into this lesson. Pronto, soon. Okay, there we go. Pronto.
La mujer lee por la noche.
La mujer lee por la noche. The woman reads at night. Por la noche. I would have assumed it was like for the night. Because I think por can also mean like for. But I guess in this case it means at night. So during, in. Okay.
¿Tú cuándo llegas a Boston?
¿Tú cuándo llegas a Boston? When do you arrive in Boston? Llegas. Arrive.
Vamos a llamar a 2 taxis.
Vamos a llamar a 2 taxis. We are going to arrive in 2 taxis. No, call. We are going to call 2 taxis. We're going to have to call. No, to have to. No, so it's just we are going to call 2 taxis. Because we don't have another 2. And I guess have isn't in the Spanish sentence either, so maybe that was just not even correct.
Hay muchos taxis en la estación.
Muchos
taxis en la estación.
There's a lot of taxis in the station.
La familia toma 2 taxis al aeropuerto.
La familia toma 2 taxis al aeropuerto. The family takes 2 taxis to the airport. I think. Okay.
¿Cuándo vas a estar en España?
¿Cuándo vas a estar en España? When are you going to be in Spain? Going to be in Spain. Estar, to be. Hijo, tenemos que salir pronto. Vas a estar listo en 5 minutos. Son, we have to leave, salir, to leave. That's the one I used to get confused with. Salir and volver. We're gonna have to leave soon. Are you going to be ready in 5 minutes? Okay.
Vamos a estar en Boston por 10 días.
Vamos a estar en Boston por 10 días. We are going to be in Boston for 10 days. Going to be in Boston for 10 days. So here we have por again, but now it has a different meaning. So before it meant at night, but now it means for.
Voy a pagar $26.
Oh, voy a pagar $26. Okay, we're gonna break this down slowly. I am going to pay 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not helping me at all. I think it might be 20. $26? I don't think I have spent a lot of time around French at all, which is interesting. I mean, I do watch some French content on Twitch, but not a lot. So it is interesting. Maybe, I don't know. It's just the natural tone my voice likes to just do. Apparently I was born to move to France or something, and then only speak Spanish when I'm in France, and then they'll believe I'm French. That's just the way it has to go. If every time I speak Spanish, everyone's like, "Oh, you sound French." But no, I don't know where I picked it up from, but it is an interesting development. Yo voy a estar 26. Días en Francia. I'm in France. I am here for 26 days in France. ¿Y tú?
¿Cuánto?
¿Cuánto tiempo vas a estar? What time are you here? Maybe? How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo? How long? That is interesting. That is definitely very interesting that I've somehow developed like a French tone or sound. Maybe one day if I finish all of the Spanish Duolingo, I'll move on to French Duolingo and we'll find out that somehow I was always fluent in French all along. Yeah, I've definitely not touched the French language in like many a years. So I don't think I am
¿A qué hora sale tu avión?
at all good in French. ¿A qué hora sale tu avión? At what hour is your train, your bus, your plane? There we go. Leaving. Just going through all the options. Train, bus, plane. At what hour is your plane leaving? Muy tarde a las 11:26. Very late at 11:26. So 11:26. At that point, I would just say 11:30. It's entirely too complicated to be like, oh yeah, my plane is leaving at 11:26. Like, no, I'll just say 11:30.
Jorge, ¿tienes 27 pesos?
You hear it when I say aeropuerto and pasaporte? Interesting. Because I feel like those words are quite similar to English words, so maybe that's where the accent comes in, since I'm like trying to tell my brain don't say it the English way, say it the Spanish way. Maybe that's where the confusion originates from. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll find out. Jorge, tienes 26 pesos. Pesos. There we go. Interesting. That just those two specific words are especially somehow sound French. Yeah, that's probably definitely the case. It's probably, yeah, you hear your own voice different anyway. But it's interesting. And I don't even know if I would listen back to it if I'd hear it anyway, because I feel like I'm quite terrible at picking up accents and being like, oh yeah, that's an accent from this language or this region. I'm just not very good at that.
Los boletos cuestan $27. ¿Va a pagar en efectivo?
Okay. Los boletos cuestan $27. Va a pagar en efectivo. The tickets cost $27. They've moved on from 26 to 27. $27. Are you going to pay with cash? Oh. En efectivo is with cash. Okay, let me write down boleto as well next to my maleta. For ticket. But yeah, I think my confusion with maleta and boleto are bileta versus leto. I think that's where the confusion between those two originates. But the tickets cost $27. Are you going to pay in cash? Sí, ¿a qué hora sale el autobús? Yes, and at what hour, like when does the bus leave?
Los boletos cuestan $27.
Cuestan.
¿Va a pagar en
Okay.
efectivo?
Cuestan. She's going to travel for a week.
Ella va a viajar por una semana.
I think that's it. Ella va, so she is going to a viajar, travel for a week. Yeah, I think it is a viajar. Okay. The plane arrives in Madrid in 5 hours.
Avión.
Arrives.
Llega. En Madrid. A horas.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So Duolingo suggests that both in Madrid and in are both N, but I only have one N, but both can use a as a second option. But I don't know which order then would be correct. I think I'm gonna have to do it this way. No, okay, so it was the opposite way around. I guess. One mistake.
El avión llega a en horas.
I think this makes more sense because I feel like we've seen like a destination before, and like N also makes more sense for time somehow in my brain. So I suppose this one does make the most sense. I suppose I can accept this one. Look at us go. No thanks. The camera, la cámara.
La cámara.
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 30.
30.
Este mes tiene 30 días.
Esta mes tiene 30 días. This month has 30 days.
Solo tenemos un minuto.
Solo tenemos un minuto. We only have a minute.
Yo siempre viajo con mi cámara.
Yo siempre viajo con mi cámara. I always travel with my camera. That's a good move. Taking a camera with you.
Ellos tienen $29.
Ellos tienen $29. 9, nuestros, and new, all linked in my head. They. Cámara too? See, that's another one where it's a word that my brain wants to just say in English. So I think that might be the pattern. If it sounds or like looks like it could be an English word, then somehow instead of pronouncing it in the Spanish way, I somehow switch to French. $29. $29.
Esta cámara cuesta $29.
Esta cámara cuesta $29. This camera costs $29. That's not expensive for a camera. Cámara. The R sounds too French. Okay, I see. Cámara. I don't know.
Esta cámara cuesta $29.
Cámara. I don't know.
26, 27, 28.
Are they gonna mark me down for not having the first capital? No, okay.
27, 28, 29, 29.
26, nope, 27, 28, 29.
Son las 6 menos cuarto.
Son las 6 menos cuarto. So it is 6 minus a quarter. So it's 5:45. Yeah, I appreciate it. It is definitely interesting to learn that I've somehow picked up a French accent for certain words. It might just be that a lot of, not a lot, but some words in English definitely come from like French roots, so maybe my brain is more used to making sounds that are more French than Spanish. I don't know. It's 5:45. I like the sentence structure. It is 6 minus a quarter. I think it's fun.
Creo que llego a las 8:45.
That was just not a good start to that sentence. Creo que llego a las 8:45. I think that I'm going to arrive. I arrive at 7:45. Once again, this is just testing my English knowledge because my brain wants to formulate the sentence one way and then I don't have the option to do that, and then I'm like, how do I make the same sentence but in a different way?
¿A qué hora sale el próximo tren? ¿A las 3:15?
¿A qué hora sale el próximo tren? A las 3:15. Creo en cuarto. Ooh. At what hour is the next train leaving? At 3:15. No creo que a las 3:45. No, I think at 2:45. Good answer. Minute, minuto.
Minuto.
La exposición. That is definitely, I just said that very French. La exposición del museo empieza en 28 minutos.
Minutos.
The exposition of the museum starts in 28 minutes. This month has 30 days.
Este mes tiene días.
Esta mes tiene 30 días. 28, 29, 30.
20, 30.
28, 29, 30. 30. You know what? Not too bad. Look at us go.
Get more with Super Duolingo.
No thanks. No thanks. Okay, we're all doing on the last one. I liked this unit, I must admit.
Vamos a la playa.
Let's go to the beach. I was clicking too quick. The plane arrives in Madrid in 5 hours.
El avión llega a Madrid en 5 horas.
There we go. Also listen to how characters say words beginning with V. Yeah, I think it's like almost a B sound from what I remember.
¿Dónde están las maletas?
From what I remember, I think it kind of sounds more to a V or a B.
Voy a estar en México el próximo mes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a V, a B. Oh my goodness. V's and B's. Yep. Voy. It's like, it's a mix between a V and a B, which is a new sound for my brain to have to make. Voy a estar en México el próximo mes. Going to be in Mexico next month. And then I believe, yeah, it's difficult in one sound. Yo voy a estar 26 días en Francia. Y tú, ¿Cuánto tiempo vas a estar? I'm going to be here for 26 days in France. How long are you going to be here?
¿Sabes dónde están los pasaportes?
¿Sabes dónde están los pasaportes? Do you know where the passports are? Know where the passports are. Voy a
conocer.
Voy a conocer París el próximo mes. I'm going to get to know France next month. Visit, conocer.
¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid? ¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid? ¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid?
Oh, I heard that correctly the first time. When are you going to arrive in Madrid?
Julia, mañana voy a estar en tu ciudad por 6 horas.
Julia, mañana voy a estar en tu ciudad por 6 horas. Tomorrow I'm going to be in your city for 6 hours. Sí, ¿a qué hora llegas a la estación? Like, yes, really? When are you going to arrive at the station?
Yo llego a casa mañana en la tarde. Yo llego en la casa tarde. Mañana. Yo llego a casa mañana en la tarde. Yo llego a casa mañana en la tarde. Mañana. La.
I think that's the right one.
Yo llego a casa mañana en la tarde. Yo llego a casa mañana en la tarde.
Actually, this one's in there. I'm going to arrive at home tomorrow late. I'm going to arrive late at home tomorrow. En la tarde, in the afternoon. Okay. Right, because it's en la, so it's in the afternoon.
Nosotros no vamos a usar los carros hoy. Nosotros no vamos. Nosotros no vamos a usar los carros hoy. A usar los carros hoy.
Nosotros no vamos a usar los carros hoy. We are not going to use the cars today.
Vamos a estar en Boston por 10 días. Vamos a estar en Boston por 10. Vamos a estar en Boston por 10. Vamos a estar en Boston por 10 días.
I think maybe this one's in there. We are going to be in Boston for 10 days. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a mistake I could have avoided. Días. I'm going to continue just not having a difference in pronunciation. Días. Maybe I can pronounce them differently, but not
Vamos a estar
really.
en Boston por 10 días. Estar en Boston por días.
And like when I read them, I can easily tell the difference. And I think hearing it as well, but that was just me clicking too quickly. Unfortunately. There we go. There we go, some quick personalized practice.
Diego, ¿estás listo?
No nos interesa estudiar italiano.
And these should go quickly because all I do when I'm not streaming is personalized practice, so... Yeah, we did that one quite well. I think that was a fun lesson. I liked that whole topic.
Ella va a comprar una cámara.
There, you've got it again. Nueva, nuestro, and then 9. Nueve, maybe. Ella va a comprar una... Okay, so I could have switched these around. Okay.
Hay muchos taxis en la estación.
Estación. And I was questioning if it was an L or a la, but C-I-O-N is feminine.
Hay muchos taxis en la estación.
There we go. I am remembering some things, and it's actually quite good that we figured out C-I-O-N I-O-N or S-I-O-N is feminine, because that's a good little rule to remember.
¿Te interesa comprar la pintura?
Interested in buying the painting. There we go. Oh, we have reached the hour 1, so I will quickly run some ads, but they should be over before you know it, and they're a great way to support for free, and they also make it so that ads don't run unannounced, because they will just do that. But we'll be back, and I'll still just be doing some practice, so hopefully I'll see you when the ads end, and we'll just still be doing some Spanish. These old photos are very interesting.
Estas, viejas, interesantes.
I'm not sure if I can switch the order. Okay, good. Okay, I did need to switch the order. They arrive. I think that was the word. Okay, I'm pleasantly surprised by me somehow remembering the word. I always, yo siempre I don't think that's the white. Oh, it was. And then I guess I can delete the yo, but I think I'll just keep it to make life easier.
Es una conversación interesante.
Conversación. Interesting or very interesting?
Es una conversación interesante.
Okay, not very interesting, just slightly interesting. My favorite sport. Or I could have done preferido. Other sports are also interesting.
Otros deportes son ¿Cuáles son tus clases favoritas?
¿Cuáles son tus clases favoritos? Everything is pluralized in this. Favoritas, okay.
¿Te gusta ir a muchas fiestas?
Dibujo. Dibujas. Oh, okay, so it's an I instead of an E. I think I've made this mistake before.
Queremos estudiar arte europeo.
Want to study European art. There we go. No mistakes.
Get more with Super Duolingo.
No thanks.
¿A dónde vamos a viajar?
Where are you going to travel?
Los boletos cuestan 28 pesos.
28 pesos.
Los boletos cuestan 28 pesos.
20. I think I got this correct. Spelling wise? No. Okay, what's my spelling? Okay, yeah, that's a mistake I allow myself to make. IE or EI, those I'll make in any language. David is going to return soon. Pronto.
¿Te gusta practicar fútbol?
¿Te gusta practicar fútbol?
Voy a estar en Barcelona por 3 días. Por.
We play basketball. When are you going to Europe?
¿Cuándo vas a ir a Inglaterra? Tú.
No. When are you? I feel like I have one too many as in there. Yeah. Oh, no. ¿Cuándo vas a ir a? Oh, so if I just didn't throw in the 2, I would have had it correct. So my first instinct was correct.
No me interesa jugar al tenis hoy.
Interested in playing tennis today. A mí no me interesa. Yeah, because esta has to be for the pintura A.
A mis padres les interesa. Les.
Los pasaportes están sobre la mesa.
Están la mesa. Okay.
Los pasaportes están sobre la mesa.
The passports are on the table. I'm going to pay 26. Fane. Says. And I think maybe this time I got the I and the E correct. I did, okay. I'm going to arrive. She.
Ella. Va. A. Llegas. En.
30 minutes.
30 minutos.
Okay. So va already has the form that refers back to ella.
¿Por qué ustedes no van a viajar mañana?
¿Por qué ustedes no van? I think. We're going to be in Boston. Días.
¿A dónde vamos a viajar?
Are we going to travel? We. Vamos is we. When are you going to go to England?
¿Cuándo vas a ir?
There we go. Ooh, you Spanish resources for me. That's always nice.
Ella. Va a. Llega. En 30 minutos.
Ooh, that could be fun. Oh yeah, it won't let you post links in here. It just automatically deletes them. So maybe if you have the name so I can Google it myself. That's probably the easiest way. Ooh, are you going to live in Boston? That's a complicated question. You live no, it just completely deletes it. I can't even see it. Somehow I can't even see it, which is kind of interesting actually. Is it maybe... Alright, I'll have a look at it. Let me copy it down. Alright. It's a 90 video playlist. That'll be fun. I think I was on the right track with this sentence. Tu vas vivir en Boston. Okay. I think I was pretty good with that one. Hoe graag... we are going. Nosotros vamos. Oh, that's where that word comes from. It just hit my mind that vamos is the we form of va, so far. That was just a wild epiphany to just have. Because I've always just heard vamos as like the single word, like vamos, like let's go. But now it makes sense. So we are going to arrive. At 11. Wow, I'm very glad I somehow had this epiphany. That was great. I'm interested. Do you know where the passports are?
Sabes, está pasaporte.
This group. Es muy buen. Buenos, apparently. Bueno. Okay. This plane arrives at 1:45. They really are giving me very difficult exercises.
El avión llega
at
las 2:45.
Okay, surprised I got that one. Do you arrive at 5:15? 5:15. The language teacher recorded short one-to-one lesson with a new Spanish learner. Ooh, that is probably going to be a good resource then.
¿Te gusta esta foto de mamá?
That definitely seems like a good resource to have. What are you going to do next Saturday?
¿Qué? Hacer. Próximo. Sábado.
There we go. We always travel. Nosotros siempre viajamos. You know what? I'll just throw a nosotros in there. Nosotros. I keep misspelling that, but that's fine. Can I use these 29 pesos? Can I use? Puedo usar estos, it's plural, 29 pesos. Is that 9? Okay. You know what? Some mistakes were made, but so far, we've definitely made some good progress. Okay, that was a silly mistake. Bueno. And that's fine. You know what? Pleasantly surprised.
Get more with Super Duolingo.
As always, by the progress I've made. It also teaches the structures that native Spanish speakers think in. That'll be good. That's definitely, I think, something I should probably watch a little bit of. Hopefully I'll pick some good information up. And now we've got Unit 31 Review.
¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid? ¿Qué hora? ¿A qué hora vas a llegar a Madrid? Llego a Madrid.
Camera.
La cámara. Estos zapatos son más cómodos.
Zapatos son más cómodos. And sounds.
Estos zapatos son más cómodos.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely help with some getting some more knowledge.
David es el peor jugador de béisbol. Peor. De béisbol. Él. David es el peor jugador de béisbol.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good Monday. I always seem to forget what day it is. Every single day. But so far, we're doing good on the unit review. No mistakes. There we go. And I think, hopefully, we'll continue that.
Duo es el mejor maestro del mundo.
Oh. That's a sentence for Duolingo to tell me.
Duo es el mejor maestro del mundo.
Duo is the best teacher of the world. That's Duolingo for you. Okay, what's my mistake? Duo es el mejor maestro del mundo. Okay. That mistake I accept. I would like a smaller blouse.
Quisiera.
I feel like I haven't heard would like as quisiera before, but okay. I would like
Una blusa más pequeña.
a blouse more small.
Qué interesante es tu amigo, David.
Amigo. How interesting is your friend David? Or your friend David is so interesting. Ellos vuelven a España el próximo diciembre. T-shirts are always very comfortable.
Las camisetas siempre son muy cómodas.
I think that's correct. You are as elegant as Miguel. Tú eres tan elegante. I think it's son. Como. So you are as elegant as Miguel, somehow.
Podemos ir de compras hoy en la tarde. Mi hermano quiere una camisa amarilla y mi papá necesita una chaqueta cómoda.
Okay. I think she does want to go to a clothes store.
Podemos ir de compras hoy en la tarde. Mi hermano quiere una camisa amarilla y mi papá necesita una chaqueta cómoda.
Yeah, so they one needs a shirt, one needs a jacket, so she does definitely need a clothes store and not a shoe or a suitcase store. It's surprising that at the end of unit review, this is the first time we've heard this. Usually they repeat stuff we've heard before. This, I'm pretty sure, is the first time we've heard this. So where are you going to travel this? ¿A dónde? Oh, they should not have given me this. They definitely should not have given me this.
Qué elegante es la ropa aquí.
How elegant are the clothes here? Okay. The clothes here are so elegant. I gotta remember that they want the English structure to be different. This coat is better than the jacket.
Este.
No.
Chaqueta.
No. No. Abrigo.
Abrigo. Es. La.
No.
Mejor. Chaqueta.
I think it's this way. So this jacket, this coat, is better than the jacket. There we go. I have the suitcase in the car. Yo tengo the suitcase. Maleta, boleto, maleta, maleta. And then I look back at my notes. It is maleta. Yo tengo la maleta en el carro. No, it's one R. Oh, it's two R's. Okay. Suitcases. Okay. Tengo las maletas en el carro. Okay.
Duo es el mejor maestro del mundo.
Once again. The same sentence. But we don't make the same mistake. Los maletas en el carro. Okay. Maletas. If I do it fast enough, then nobody will know that we did it like 6 times. Yep. And we did it. Unit 31. Now I want to try and see, because talk about likes, that I feel like this is something I might just kind of know. Do you like? Te gustan? Me encantan? I love. Nos encantan? Me gustan? Me gustan. For multiple things, it's me gustan. For singular things, it's me gusta. Same with encantan. Interesan. Like, I feel like this is stuff I should already kind of know. So I want to at least attempt to just skip. Will it work? I don't know, but we can try. Yeah, and now we do have a little life system. So hopefully this ends up working out. We're just gonna take it slow. Gonna take it very, very slow. Thin.
Delgado.
I was worried for a second because I was like, oh, it could also be this one. This is to have lunch. What's poner? I don't remember, but it's one of them. We're off to a great start. We really get one question right, and Duolingo's like, you're off to a great start. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Peter Yona? I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correct, but I hope you're having a good Monday. Ooh, I appreciate the follow. And I guess with that we've hit our follower goal, which is pretty cool. I appreciate all the follows recently. We're practicing some Spanish, and we're going to attempt to skip a whole unit because I think I should already know how to talk about my likes. But that means we've got a 3 live system, and that's a little bit intimidating. But you know what? If we fail, we fail, and then I guess we can try again. You're learning English and Spanish. Ooh, that's pretty fun. Yeah, we do a lot of Spanish learning over here, because that's the language I'm currently attempting to learn. So you'll probably find some more Spanish Duolingo on here some other time as well. But yeah, learning languages is always fun, and especially I think with resources like Twitch, where you can watch lives in different languages. It's a very good resource to maybe get more familiar with languages quicker.
Creo que llego a las 8 menos cuarto.
Okay, creo que luego es a los 8 menos cuarto. I think that, I think that I arrive at 8 minus a quarter, so at quarter to 8. I think that I arrive at quarter to 8. Okay, that's the only way I can phrase it. For a second I thought maybe they wanted me to say I think that I am arriving at, but this isn't arriving. So I think that I arrive at quarter to 8. This is gonna go really slowly just because I think it's fun to like actively like try and break down the whole sentence, but also I don't want to make mistakes right now. Cameras in your English, cámaras in my Spanish.
Cámaras.
Las chicas nadan en la piscina ahora.
Las chicas nadan en la piscina ahora. The girls are swimming in the pool now. In the pool now. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, how did you know that? I think that was a good guess you had, though. But yeah, I think if you know Portuguese, then maybe the Spanish isn't too difficult to learn. But then I think the English might be a little bit of a step outside of that. You're doing great. I love Duolingo for encouraging me. I really needed this. Colors, colores.
Colores.
Este gato es muy gordo.
Este gato es muy gordo. Now we got this one wrong once because I said the cat was very big and Duolingo disagreed with that translation, so I don't think I'll get that one wrong again. This cat is very fat. Esa blusa es something cheaper than my sandwich. So this blouse is more cheap than my sandwich. It costs $2 and my sandwich costed $3. That's a cheap blouse. Okay, now we gotta remember sentence structure. Esa blusa es más barato que mi sandwich. I think this blouse is more cheap than my sandwich. I think. Okay. There we go.
Yo conozco a muchas personas famosas.
One tip is that in this type of exercise, it's almost always 4 left. I'm not sure I understand what you're you're trying to say. Maybe if you rephrase it. Maybe I'm just the one. 4 word bubbles left. I see. Okay. 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 Yo conozco a muchas personas famosas. I know many famous people. Oh, I see. So there's 4 left. That is interesting, actually. That is good to know. ¿A dónde van a ir en sus próximas vacaciones? You knew that too, but you like to see the struggle? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, to be fair, sometimes it is fun to see the struggle. But I don't think, you know, that's bad information for me to have. I think I won't necessarily use it, but if I'm really struggling, then maybe I'll be like, huh, there seems to be 5 words left. I wonder what the last word is I need. So, where are we, because it's plural, are you, plural, going to go this on your next vacation? To Madrid? Because it's where. So I don't think I'll be like today or on the next month. Although I feel like they could both still fit in there, right? You could be like, where are you going to go on your next vacation today? Or where are you going to go on your next vacation next month? But I think Madrid makes the more sense. Like, where are you going to go to on your next vacation? To Madrid? Yeah, I think that one makes the most sense. I feel like the next month would have also made sense, but not fully with the way it's phrased. Mama, ¿a dónde vamos a ir este fin de semana? We got this exact sentence like last unit. A nosotros no nos gusta something, porque no nos gustan something. So we don't like broccoli because we don't like vegetables. Or we don't like vacation because we don't like to leave the house. Or we don't like subjects because we don't like to study. All of those would work in theory, but I think what's the real hint is gustan is plural, and the only other thing that's plural is vegetables. I think that's the main hint there. Other than people saying they don't like... Well, I guess the others wouldn't have made sense. Okay. Yo voy a estar 26
días.
We had this one before.
¿Cuánto?
So I'm in France for 26 days, and you, how many days are you here? So far, I feel like all of these questions, apart from the one about broccoli and vegetables, have been from like other units, like not the unit I'm trying to skip, which is an interesting approach. We really like Chilean food.
Nos.
We are halfway. Oh, would this be halfway? Maybe we are.
Mucho. Chilena.
What do you think your level in Spanish is? Honestly, I have very little idea. I only started learning Spanish in February. I was on a different Duolingo account where I was like unit something like 16, something like that. And then I moved here, and it somehow I did the placement test and I got placed like unit like 28. But then now I feel like I'm once again ahead of like my Duolingo level. I think you're between A1 and A2. I think I could be. I think if somebody's in public speaking decent at like a normal speed level, I can probably hear like 1 or 2 like important words in a sentence and maybe build meaning from there. If they speak slow about a topic I've studied before, I could probably understand like 80% of the sentence. Sometimes what I like to do with the Duolingo ones is you're learning the basics. Yeah, I think I think it kind of moves quickly though, especially if you're doing like Duolingo or something to learn like basic words and stuff, but then you're spending time on like Twitch listening to Spanish streamers or English streamers or something like that. I feel like it kind of goes quickly. I watch a lot of English streamers attempting Spanish, or English streamers who have Spanish subtitles on, or Spanish streamers who have English subtitles on, and I think that helps as well because you can hear one language and read it in another. So I think that's helped quite a lot. And then sometimes it's just maybe guessing and hoping you kind of have the right idea. Or just throwing yourself in the deep end and like putting on just something completely in Spanish and then being like, huh, I have no idea what they're saying, but this one word is repeated like every other sentence. Maybe I should Google Translate that one and see where you get. Okay, so we've got 4 words left over, so I think this is the correct words. Nos gusta mucho la comida chilena. I think we're gonna just... Okay. Just gonna lock it in. Esta es el mejor hotel del mundo. It's the best hotel in the world. It's very comfortable and elegant.
Elegante.
There we go. I will say this word and this word, I don't think I've seen. So hopefully that's not words from the last unit that I will need in a second. These games are so fun.
Estos
Games.
juegos son divertidos.
Okay. These games are very fun. Divertido is the... Yep. Divertido. We're halfway there. Duolingo believes in us. Who would have thought? Who'd have thought?
Tenemos que estar listos en una hora.
En una hora, maybe.
Tenemos que estar listos en una hora.
Sucio, you think is dirty. Oh, that could be it. That might actually be it. Yeah, and then the other one.
Tenemos que estar listos en una hora.
I don't tend to usually listen to it on the slow version, but I am quite happy that I managed to hear that it was que estar, because usually it sounds very close together, because of course in any languages they'll be like, when you speak they'll kind of link words together, so usually I miss it, but this time I heard it.
Tenemos que estar listos en una hora.
We need to be ready in an hour. We love these Latin songs. Very similar to Portuguese. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That of course they're both Romance languages, so they already have very similar like structures and word origins. But then I think there's also a lot of words that just sound very similar, in the sense that maybe like if you put a Portuguese speaker and a Spanish speaker in a room, if they spoke their own languages but like slower, there's a high chance I feel like that they would have like maybe like 60% understanding, something like that, which is always interesting. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. You have that I don't know, it's interesting. And then like maybe you have an easier chance of learning a new language, which is always fun. But then also like if I were to start trying to learn Portuguese right now, since I'm not very good at Spanish yet, and then I start to learn a language that's a little similar, then it's all just gonna get messed up in my head, and I'm gonna have like a hybrid of Spanish and Portuguese, which is why it's not a good idea for me to start learning Portuguese right now. But you know.
Nos encantan estas canciones latinas.
I think this would be the structure they have, where it's songs Latin. Okay.
Él sabe cocinar carnes diferentes.
Cocinar something diferentes. You already talked to a Mexican-speaking person in Portuguese and he in Spanish, see? I think like to some extent it definitely has some mutual understanding. And then especially maybe if you're like, oh, well, these words specifically are very different between Portuguese and Spanish, then you only really have to like study that group of words, and then you already have the other words that are similar. So I think that could be interesting.
Él sabe cocinar carnes diferentes.
There we go. He knows how to cook different meats.
Él sabe cocinar carnes diferentes.
Cocinar. What's my spelling mistake? Oh yeah, I throw in an N in there sometimes. Oh, you did your research. Okay. Okay, so we are somewhere, you know, we are technically A1. But that is good to know. Yeah, because I think as well, Duolingo on the phone has a little bit of a different layout. And I think maybe on the phone it also kind of puts you in levels. Yeah, I think there is definitely words between Portuguese and Spanish where you can be like, yeah. Yeah, so... yeah, you're in A1. I'm technically still in A1 until I get like... to Unit 20 of Section 3, but that doesn't say anything about the online version because those are different numbers. But yeah, I guess I'm still in A1. But you never know. Before long, maybe we'll be A2. If we just keep pushing. Keep learning. Maybe keep skipping levels. I like to learn different languages. I do like to learn different languages. Me gusta. Aprender.
Aprender. Diferentes.
Lenguas diferentes. Yeah, and I think when there is like two languages that have similar words, it's also just about finding out how they're different. Like, of course, English and Spanish probably have a bigger divide than like Spanish or Portuguese, but lenguas is a similar word to languages. And so it's just kind of like finding those words that are then easier for you to maybe learn and just holding on to those and being like, yeah, I know that one. Me gusta aprender lenguas diferentes.
Mis abuelos son un poco bajos.
Son un poco bajos.
Mis abuelos son un poco bajos.
My grandparents are a little short, I believe. There we go. The word world, el mundo. There we go. For a second I was like, would it be la mundo? But I feel like they wouldn't make the earth feminine. I feel like that just wouldn't be a move they'd make.
Mis hermanas saben manejar bien.
Hermanas saben.
Mis hermanas saben manejar bien.
Manejar bien.
Mis hermanas saben manejar bien.
My sisters know how to drive well? Yeah. Manejar is drive, I believe. Yeah, it is. That's one of the words that I haven't decided to write down yet because I will remember it with enough thinking, but also it's not one of the words I'll immediately be like, yeah, I know that one. So that one I still have to think about. But yeah, it's like to drive a car, to drive a bus, to drive... I don't know if they would say to drive a bike. I feel like they'd say to ride a bike, but I don't know. We like both cars. Okay. Nos gustan both Have I learned both? I don't think I have. Interesting. I don't think I know this. But I also don't want to just get one wrong. Let me think. Both. I don't even think I know like any words similar to both that I can like base my guess off of. So like, do I just Google Translate? You know what? I think I'll just put both into Google Translate. Or do I allow myself to make one mistake? Maybe I allow myself to make one mistake. Ambos. Okay, I am gonna write this one down. Ambos is both. Okay. Ambos. How many tickets? Now I flip back to my page which has all my question words. How many? ¿Cuántos? And then we go back another page to tickets, which is like boletos. Boletos. Se quiere. Quiere is want, so you want is te quiere. Okay. It also would be awful for me to lose all of this right now, but I feel like the sentence should just be correct, right? Yeah. Google Translate says this would be right. Now, I mean, are we gonna trust Google Translate? But like, that should work. This should have worked. They didn't specify that they wanted, like, right, but they didn't specify they wanted it to be formal. I might just report this one, but also I don't know what's gonna pop up on my screen when I click report, so I'm just gonna put this here for a second. My answer should have been accepted. There we go. At the very least, I've now reported it. Because it should have been accepted. I'm very interested. See, now we're struggling because we're on one life. Mucho. Those. I think this should work. Me interesan, because it's plural. Would this be plural? Now I'm second guessing everything. Interesan muchos. I think we're gonna pluralize everything. We're gonna lose. Okay. Oh, one more mistake and it's over. Okay. It's fine, we can do this. There are many types of food here. Can I type? Types. I don't even know types at this point. Comidas. Like, I can say there's many different foods here. Hay mucho types. Something types. Hay mucho tipos de comidas aquí. Then I just need types. You know what? Google Translate. Tipos. See, I kind of was there. Hay muchos tipos de comidas aquí. No. Okay.
Get more with
But also, like, we were so close. I feel like if we tried this one more time, we would get it. It was a good try. It really was. But the question is now, am I gonna, like, actually go through all of this? Am I gonna just jump another level? No, we're definitely not doing that. But, I could retry this. It was definitely a good try. We were so very close. Yeah, I feel like I can definitely try it again just because one mistake I got was they were wrong. They were in the wrong. They were in the wrong. And this time we don't have to go so slowly. I think I can do it quicker.
Mis abuelos son un poco bajos.
We can do it a little quicker.
Lengua. Estos precios son peores.
Precios. Prices. Worse. Answer respuesta from response. Response was our link there.
Ella sabe cocinar muchas carnes.
She knows how to cook many meats. Vas a llegar a las 5 menos cuarto. Are you going to arrive at 4:45? This is before 5 or after, or the other way around, one of them. Before or after 5.
Nos gusta este plato caliente.
Nos gusta este plato caliente. We like this hot dish. Caliente is hot, so I'm assuming plato is dish. A Mari le encanta this one. It has to be this one. So Mary likes the color orange, but she doesn't like oranges. This is plural. This is the only plural ending one we've got. So there we go. La something tiene que estar lista para las something.
Ropa.
The clothes need to be ready for the vacation.
Vacaciones.
Mamá, ¿dónde vamos a ir este fin de semana? A un lugar nuevo. Where are we going this weekend? To a new place. Estas flores son mis
preferidas.
Preferidas, gracias, me encantan. These flowers are my preferred, my favorite. Thank you, I love them. Are you going to visit your parents?
Vas a visitar a tus padres.
There we go.
Somos muy delgados.
I missed it.
Somos muy delgados. Somos muy delgados.
I have no idea what this sentence means. We are very thin. Okay, there we go. The girl is as beautiful as her mother.
Niña es tan bella. Madre.
I think that's it. La niña es tan bella como su madre. I feel like I've made mistakes with the sentence structure before, but I think this one should be correct.
Rafael, tú cocinas muy bien.
Cocinas muy bien.
Rafael, tú cocinas muy bien.
There we go. And this time I didn't misspell cocinas. I am in the same hotel.
Estoy en el hotel
mismo. En el mismo hotel, okay.
¿Cómo se escribe perro en español?
Escribo perro en español.
¿Cómo se escribe perro en español?
Escribe. Okay. One mistake, but we're fine. My mom sings to me at night.
Mamá. Me canta. En la noche.
There we go. Okay, it's whenever I'm down a life, it's very it's more stressful, I feel like.
¿Te gustan los bailes latinos?
Bailos latinos, I think.
¿Te gustan los bailes latinos? ¿Te gustan los bailes latinos? ¿Te gustan los bailes latinos?
Do you like Latin dances? Okay. If I get this wrong, if we fail this one more time, then it's done forever. The I. Wow. Okay, they really threw that one in there. I have no idea. And I will refer back to Google Translate. Ojo. Right, it is ojo. Okay. Only mild helping from translate websites. These clothes, so estas ropas son muy bonitas. Esta ropa es tan bonita. Okay, I could have just done it singular. Okay. The bird. The bird. Also, something tells me they wouldn't have given me bird in this unit anyway. Baja. I don't remember. Let me just write down the I. The bird. I have no idea. Am I just gonna Google Translate it again? We're only mildly getting help from Google Translate. Only mildly. Pájaro. Interesting. I don't think I have anything to relate that to in English. Like, there's no link for me to make there so far. I really like Cuban restaurants. Me gustan mucho. You won't make the same mistake twice. Restaurantes cubano. Okay. Cubanos. One more mistake and we're out. My daughter doesn't know this word. Mi hija no sabe esta palabra. Oh, yeah. I think I said hija. This is esa? Because I know it's not esta, because then it would be like that. So this doesn't have the T. I think this just is it. No, okay, I think there might just be a T. Okay. How do you say hello in French? Bonjour. ¿Cómo se dice? Esta. Nope. ¿Cómo se dice? Hola. En French. Francés. ¿Cómo se dice hola en francés? I was so scared to press enter there. I was like, this is where they're gonna give it to me and it's gonna be wrong, the last one. There we go. That was just frightening. That was just every part of that was frightening. Pongo is new here. Okay. Oh, but it's like poner. Okay. So pongo is poner. Okay, I see. And we also use that to put on clothes. Okay. Habla despacio, por favor. So slowly. Only other context I've ever seen slowly is despacito. So yeah, despacio. To get boss, you drop the S and the formal to from the normal to verb to tell someone what to do. Tu hablas? Habla. I see. So that's like, we drop the S, it becomes like a command. I'm not gonna attempt to skip this level right now. I might attempt to do that in the next stream, and I think we'll continue with the 2 attempts, or we'll just have to do the lesson. What I am gonna do is read the stories, because they're always fun. Drawing in the park. Dibujar en el parque. Maybe?
Dibujando en el parque.
Dibujando, okay. So, dibujo is I draw, and dibujando is just the act of drawing. Okay. Enjoy your rest, and hopefully I'll see you another time. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Gustavo lleva a su perro al parque todos los días.
Gustavo lleva en su perro al parque todos los días. Gustavo Gustavo takes his dog to the park every day.
Y todos los días ve a Lily dibujando en el parque.
And every day sees Lily drawing in el parque. In the park. Y todos los días ve a Lily dibujando en el parque.
Un día, él decide hablar con ella.
Un día, él decide hablar con ella. One day, he decides to speak with her. I feel like this story has moved up a level. Like, it feels more difficult.
Hola.
Hola, hello.
Hola.
Hello.
¿Te puedo hacer una pregunta?
¿Te puedo hacer una pregunta? Can I ask a question? Can I have a question? Can I ask a question? Okay.
¿Qué?
What?
Te veo dibujar.
Te veo dibujar todos los días. I see you drawing every day.
Sí.
Yes.
¿Qué dibujas?
What are you drawing?
Muchas cosas.
Many things.
Dibujo cosas que creo que son interesantes o bonitas.
Dibujo cosas que creo que son interesantes o bonitas. I draw things that I think are interesting or beautiful.
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
¿Qué estás dibujando ahora?
¿Qué estás dibujando ahora? What are you drawing now?
Es un secreto.
Oh, I think I know where the story is going. It's a secret.
¿Por qué?
Why? Gustavo wants to know why. Lily doesn't want to say what she's drawing.
Tú vienes al parque todos los días.
Tú vienes al parque todos los días. You come to the park every day.
Me estás dibujando, ¿verdad?
Me estás dibujando, ¿verdad? You are drawing me. Really? Right? Correct? Question mark?
Bueno, tú también me gustas.
Oh, bueno, tú también me gustas. I like you too. I would have struggled to translate this to I like you too, because you also I like. Oh wait, no, actually I would have translated that correctly. You also I like. I like you too.
No. No te estoy dibujando a ti.
Oh, now I know where the story's going. No te estoy dibujando a ti. I am not drawing you.
Estoy dibujando a tu perro.
There we go.
Es muy bonito. Mira.
Estoy dibujando a tu perro. Es muy bonito. Mira. I am drawing your dog. It's very beautiful. Look. Gustavo did in fact think Lily was drawing a picture of him. Yep. Many, muchas, to talk, hablar, right, verdad, interesting, interesantes, pretty, bonitas. I liked that story. Fun story. You know, I think we leave this story, the art homework, to next stream. I like our new way of doing this. I think I will continue to attempt to skip levels, and if it takes us more than 2 attempts, we'll do the unit. But I think this might be a better way of learning. For now, until I get maybe more up to speed with what I actually know. But it was a very, very fun stream. I definitely enjoyed it. I will admit I haven't been streaming as much the last week or so, but I am trying. And I'll stream whenever I can stream again. And we'll probably do some more Duolingo. Maybe we'll do some more Minecraft. We'll have to see. But it has been really fun doing some Duolingo. And so far it's been a good start to the week. I think Duolingo technically like resets today, or maybe yesterday. So like, it's not too wild that we're in the top 3, but still, it's been fun. And then yeah, next time we'll hopefully learn some more words. Maybe I'll check out the language transfer, and hopefully I'll come back next stream and just be fully fluent. No, highly unlikely, but that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, I'll keep practicing, and hopefully next time we'll be good to skip some more levels. But this is definitely, I like this new way. I think I'm gonna enjoy doing it this way. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll be back when I'm back. Until next time, I hope you have a good day or a good couple of days, and hopefully you keep learning languages if you're wanting to learn languages, and otherwise, you know, just having a good couple of days. Oh yeah, let me, before I always forget, feel free to check out my other socials where I am when I'm not live over here. Although I am usually more active over on my Twitch, and feel free to check out the Discord where I send little notifications when I go live in case you don't get the notifications from Twitch, and where you can chat with others, lots of other lovely people. But you know what? I'm happy that we actually managed to skip a whole unit. Hopefully we continue seeing progress. Thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully you have a good couple days. Alright, until next time, bye bye.